We didn't have gasoline back then, if you recall. I mean, we did, but we didn't use it like that. We had steam power and trains and such, but we did not use gasoline back then. We didn't really know about the combustible engine. We had not gotten that far. So all of the manpower in the world was slavery. If you abolish all of the manpower in the world, you can make a really Hitler fucking shitty argument for slavery in the respect that, like, without that labor, without that forced labor, you have nothing at all. And this was true. And I believe this is how, I believe this is how Lincoln got slavery abolished, is he was like, nobody can work for free forever, And this is true. But I mean, you could also make an argument that the abolishment of slavery was an appeal to authority. I'm sorry, an appeal to emotion, where like they just did it because so many people were so passionate about it, they didn't want anybody to cry anymore. And that's actually a fallacy. You should want to get rid of the slavery because it makes you an inhuman, terrible piece of shit if you engage in it. It degrades you, it degrades them, it degrades everybody to work for free. Nobody should work for free. All work should be compensated, in my opinion, And so you might really make an argument against communism or slavery, or for or against in these bents, but the arguments are irrelevant. Slavery is wrong no matter what you do. The arguments have always been irrelevant.
Speak to Quoqui, or who are you to talk? If your sister, who does no exercise, says you should do 150
for some stupid ass reason.
Actually stole a puppy. That particular appeal.
Yeah, that's appeal to emotion. Where you're like, okay, this guy's really fucking evil. Like I feel that Hitler was an appeal to emotion, but I guarantee something like 65% of the known fucking world hates the Jewish race. And I'm sure Hitler was dealing with that. The only reason Hitler pushed all that stupid shit is because everybody else was too. And that sucks. It's like, so you want to blame Hitler for being anti-Semitic and being the terrible guy. He was terrible. He was fucked up. But understand, he was not the only anti-Semitic motherfucker in the world. Do you remember the intro for Borat, where he makes fun of the Jew egg and all that? And I'm only saying that because it's like, that's what he said in the movie. It was one of the most horrible racist things that I've ever seen. Now we kill the Jew egg. And it was like, Jesus Christ, you are fucking insane, because the racism is just so off the hook. But honestly, that is the racism that we've had since Vlad the Slayer. We do not have evolution or luxury, or even like the luxury of not being racist. We don't have this. We try all the time, but when it comes up, and somebody makes some shitty racist comment. It sucks, but it does. I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm saying it sucks and it happens. We do not have a solution to our bias. It is not going to be solved by living our lives and watching this person on a screen. It is going to be personal change and changing your own actions. So all the time I tell myself that I can't use gay epithets, I can't use racial epithets, I can't use any epithets, I can't use fucking my own language that I grew up with. I can't grow up with English because it comes out broken unless I use it correctly. I really don't like using weird word like conjunctions like ain't or taint or ant or won't or anything like that. I really don't like conjunctions actually a lot of the time because I think they're lazy. I think there's a lot of problems with our language all the time. I think all the time that we appeal to authority, but we're actually appealing to emotion. Like right now, while she's talking to me about appeal to emotion, I believe she is appealing to her teacher, who is an authority. And I believe she is going to turn in this video to her teacher, looking to appeal to emotion and try to get the teacher to like her more than everybody else. And that is an appeal to emotion. You can see the fallacy in the way that she's approaching her content even. And you're like, oh no, you want to talk to me about appeal to emotion, but your entire video is an appeal to emotion. It actually is.
To emotion. Appeals to emotion attempt to distract you by making you feel bad for the other person.
Like you're supposed to feel bad for the other person because they're different or they face some other problem that you didn't face or something like that. But no, their problems are immaterial to your logical wagering.
So why should we hire you for this job?
Well, it doesn't matter. The question doesn't matter. You can say, because I need a job, because you need somebody like me, because I'm qualified for the job. I want to make the money that you're offering, and I'm the best person for the job, and I don't know anybody else that would ever let handle the responsibility of this job but me, so you should give it to me. And when I have it, I will use it to fund my career and become something truly great and pay someone else to do this job. And when you tell people this honestly to their face, they treat you differently. They don't do the slippery slope. They don't assume one true Scotsman. They don't assume that they're better than you. They don't attack you as much. They're like, this person has sussed out emotionally what I'm dealing with on the daily better than I have physically as a combat player. And so his emotional intelligence is bringing him further in his approaches to being a really balanced, good human being. But instead, they sit and do combat on their piece of shit fucking, on their piece of shit test servers all the time. And they data mine everything. You don't need to data mine Metal Gear Solid or Elden Ring. We're going to play the game.
Because if you don't hire me, then I'll be out on the street, and I'll have to live in a cardboard box. You don't want to make me
I deal with this one all the time.
Cardboard box,
right? So appeal to authority, appeal to emotions. I dealt with people who would have put me in the ground, who dealt with what they literally sussed out how my life was going to go. And these are people that I would have put in the ground for their transgressions against me.
Appeal to popularity or bandwagon?
Yeah, now I have an appeal to popularity, which is like, you guys love me, you've always loved me, and the evil people that attack me aren't popular. They're the shitty, nasty basement dwelling guys who walk down the country road and all that and just take forever to do anything at all. And and I'm sorry, but appeals to tradition don't really work for me. I don't care if you lived in the country all your fucking life. I expect you to know about it half as much as you do about the city as you do about the rural area, just like me.
5 million people can't be wrong.
5 million people can be wrong and are all the time.
Appeal to tradition. People have been doing this for thousands of years.
So it can't be wrong, right? So yeah, it kind of sucks to take this much money and this much time and this much effort and put this much gold, filigree, and leafing and gold books and antiquity and all the ages into Catholicism. When honestly, I'm fairly sure Catholicism is going to exist whether we do anything or not. I'm fairly sure Catholicism will exist whether we write a Bible or not. I'm fairly sure it'll exist whether we believe in God or not. I'm fairly sure it'll exist even if we were to try to snuff it out. And so this idea that we need to give it money or let it grow is this terrible, terrible, terrible fallacy to me. That money should go to kids. Kids who are growing. Not to the Catholic Church, not to the Vatican. You guys open your wallet all the fucking time. And I think, those kids in your community could really use a counting machine or a new car or transportation to their homestead or anything like that. But no, you're there talking about if you're a broke boy, just say so.
So it must be right. Appeal to nature. Ooh, don't trust medicine or science. It's full of chemicals.
Yeah, don't trust anything that's that's synthetic. And that's appeal to nature. And that one really bothers me a lot all the time. Because all of my favorite things are synthetic. Video games, drugs, water, food. I don't know. What else? Contacts. Everything that I do is synthetic, from the music to the headphones. It's all synthetic, 3D binaural sound done in a way that's meant to submerse me. And even the submersiveness is not good enough anymore to my level of standard.
They're bad for you. Here, take this belladonna. It's very natural. Appeal to
belladonna is very natural. Yeah, it is. It's one of the more natural things on the planet, but it's also one of the more deadly. And this happened too. This happened a lot. They'd be like, this new drug is a wonder drug and we don't know what it does, but you should trust it and love it. And we were like, no, we won't do that. What is the drug? And they come back and they say fen-phen. It gives you cancer. And you're like, Fen-Phen gives you cancer or whatever. I've never had Fen-Phen, but I remember that Fen-Phen gave you cancer. And so all the fat people in the country were like, Fen-Phen gives you cancer? And they freaked the fuck out. And Oprah went on the warpath, and it was insane. Fen-Phen is bad for you.
Ignorance. If you can't prove it false, it must be true, or vice versa. You can't prove that ghosts don't exist, therefore they must exist. Well, you can't prove that ghosts do exist, so therefore they clearly don't. Both of these are appeals to ignorance. Begging the question. Assuming to be true a premise that you are trying to prove. Zog the Great is infallible because in the big book of Zog the Great, it says that he's infallible, and we know that the text is infallible because it was written by Zog
who is infallible, right? And that's the thing about, like, don't question it because I am the authority, and the authority creates the divine authority, and the divine authority creates the authority. Don't question it anymore. I use this all the time. I'm like, I'm somehow better than you as a gamer. I'm somehow playing 3 games better than you right now. I'm better than you as a streamer. I'm better than you as a person. I'm just better than you as I talk down to you as you kill me in PvP. I'm just better than you. The air that I breathe is more clean. The food that I eat is better and more well cooked and stuff. My penis is bigger. My body's bigger. I'm bigger than you. I'm 6'4". I'm just stronger. I can lift you. You can't lift me. I'm 330 pounds. You're 210. I'm gonna drop to 230, but you're not gonna jump to 330. You know, I'm gonna be the bigger person. I'm always gonna be the bigger person. I'm gonna be bigger than you. And I use this all the time to browbeat pretty much anybody into doing anything that I want. All the time, I'm like, yeah, I'm infallible. I'm perfect. The love of my life is perfect. She's never fucked up ever. Any problems she has is because of me. Anybody or any friends that I have have problems because of me. I was Zog the Great. I'm infallible, and I just have no way of ever failing you, short of maybe not showing up on the water list, or maybe not showing up to pump the water if it's not running, or anything like that. Other than that, all of your pills and all of your attention and all of your videos and all of your money and all of your everything will come to me no matter what, while I just demand your attention. And so I tell you that I'm infallible, and that nobody can defeat me in a debate, and that I'm better than all of the common people that are considered the best at debate combined, because I don't have an image or a point of view, and I can just tell you what is right and what is wrong. And yeah, and that's all basically. It's like this. It's like genetic hereditism that has nothing to do with reality.
It says so in the book, which was written by someone who said, equivocation is using one word to mean multiple things and thus drawing incorrect conclusions, often on purpose. Any law can be repealed by the proper authority. The law of gravity is a law. Therefore, the law of gravity can be repealed,
which repeals for laws exists, but the repeal for the law of gravity does not exist. You made that up in your goddamn mind, you fucking idiot.
Conflates law in the legal sense and law in the
scientific sense, which is that no matter what, the basic principles conform to this. But so you're messing that up with quite literally the word law, and this happens more than we care to admit.
Scientific sense, and makes you look like a bit of an Egypt.
Egypt.
Dichotomy, or black or white.
Black or white, right? It's either right or wrong, right? The Republicans either need to give up their fucking party or just get prosecuted. They're either or become president, one of the three. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no middle ground. There's no doing the research or running some rallies or educating people or going around the world or anything like that. It's just you're either right or wrong. You're either Biden, which is evil, or you're Trump, which is good, or vice versa, right? And that's the worst. This is almost the worst fallacy. They get worse. They get worse as they go. The more people can kind of fall to these, the worse behavior they get into, and they want to kill each other in killing in the name of
bit of an Egypt. False dichotomy.
False dichotomy, where you're like, we're only good or we're only bad as Americans. If we're bad, then we need to just wipe out the government entirely.
Or black or white. Either you agree with everything I say, or you're
if you don't agree with the government how it is right now, then we should just blow it up and blow up the outside world and just forget about governments entirely. Because if you're not agreeing with me, then you're an idiot.
Evil baby eater. There is no middle ground. Sort of.
There is no middle ground where you're like, well, it's good that we thrive, but it's also bad that we exploit, you know?
Opposite to the black and white fallacy is the middle ground fallacy, which says, if some people think 2 + 2 is 4, and some people think 2 + 2 is 5,
then obviously the answer is 2.2. Or, sorry, 2.5.
Clearly the answer lies somewhere in the middle.
Which is not true. No, it's not true. It's not 2.5. No. It's quite literally 2 + 2 = 5. It never changes, right? Or so 2 + 2 = 4. It never changes. It doesn't ever equal 5. So if you're trying to equal 5, you don't go running for 2.5 and say the solution to the answer is 2.5, because no, 2 + 2 = 4. 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5. But no, 2 + 2 will always equal 4. You don't draw some kind of goalpost between 5 and 2.5 and say that the answer is 2.5. You just understand that 2 + 2 is always 4. You never ever say that 2 + 2 = 5. No, it doesn't. Then we'll just have to agree some way halfway. Halfway of incorrect is still incorrect entirely.
No, decision point fallacy or the Sorites paradox. The decision point...
And so every time somebody says something to me, I run it through the gamut of all of this, and I try to remember what I'm about, and I detect the fallacies in their conversation, and I lose the desire to speak to them entirely.
Fallacy says, because there is a continuum, it means we can't distinguish between things. But just because the boundaries between things are a bit blurry doesn't mean we can't tell one thing from another. I know that a horse is a mammal and a frog is an amphibian, even though frogs lay eggs and so do some mammals. Duck-billed platypi, what you gonna do? The slippery slope fallacy is the assertion that one step will inevitably lead to another, which will inevitably lead to another, which will inevitably lead to doom. If you get a credit card, then you will...
Yeah, and I really believe this too. If you get a credit card, then you will overspend and you will definitely become a victim of the machine. But no, there are many people that use credit cards perfectly and fix their rating pretty much instantly and do fine. It's actually like, yeah.
Spend and you will not be able to make your payments, and then you will definitely end up living on the street in a cardboard box.
Yep, that's how I view it. I'm like, if I can't pay the rent, then I will end up in the street in a cardboard box without a job. And it's not always like that, is it?
If you can stop at any of the steps, then it's a fallacy.
It's a fallacy if you can stop at any of it. It's not always like that, is it, right? That's the first step, is understanding that the first step, which is that you're poor, is not always true of everybody. Not everybody's poor. They might have their mommy's money to fall back on or whatever.
Hasty generalizations, or anecdotes. This is where you draw a general conclusion from a small or biased sample. Obvious examples include things like, well, my aunt smoked 10 cigarettes a day and she lived to 109, so cigarettes mustn't be bad for you. But it's also one of the reasons that self-selective surveys aren't particularly good for drawing general conclusions about a population. Faulty analogy.
She's gone digging for all the times.
Comparing things which aren't actually similar in the way that would be relevant. Government is like business. Since businesses strive to make a profit, so should government.
Nope.
Burden of proof. When you insist that it's incumbent upon the person who disbelieves your claims to provide proof against them, rather than provide...
Yeah, like your argument is that you have to disprove me when I say that women should have a choice over their own autonomy. You get lost all the time.
Providing proof for them yourself.
Yeah, like you should argue why they don't need that, as opposed to just saying that I'm crazy. You know, a crazy baby killer. Provide an argument as to why.
Ghost. No, you're not. Why are you saying that? Prove it then. Prove me wrong. Prove I'm not a ghost. Since you're the one saying you're a ghost, surely it's incumbent upon you to back up this rather extraordinary claim, which you can't.
Yeah, and this is true. The incumbent proof on you to prove your own claim is something that I fall victim to all the time. I make these claims where I'm like, wait. Can I say that? Can I say that? I have to go back it. I have to go accurately check it on Google. I'm like, can I say what I just said? Was the Ultimate game in 2014 or was it 2007?
Because you can't walk through walls and you're not transparent nor remotely scary. Ooh, I'm a ghost. You're really not. Affirming the consequent is when you say something like, my dog barks when there's an intruder. My dog is not barking, therefore there's no intruder. Which, if your premises are in fact...
My dog is not barking, therefore is not an intruder, but I mean, if the intruder killed the dog and your dog's not barking, yeah, there may be an intruder.
Correct, and there is no way that your dog would not bark when there's an intruder is fine. However, my dog barks when there's an intruder, my dog is barking, therefore there must be an intruder, is not valid. I mean, dogs bark for all sorts of reasons, so unless your premise is, my dog only barks when there are intruders, this is not right.
This is not right. Boy, dogs bark all the time. I love how you can definitively say it like I'm not gonna roll a 7 on this 6-sided dice. That's literally some of these fallacies where like some people will literally make it a whole argument off of a lie, and you're like, no, that's slippery slope, and you begin to look and you're like, no, you're right. I just assumed that everybody was gonna fail. Nope, not everybody fails, or we wouldn't have rich people.
Opposite of this is denying the antecedent. If it barks, then it's a dog. It's barking, therefore it's a dog. Great. But if it's not barking, then it's not a dog is not valid, because maybe it's just a dog that's, tired. Moving the goalposts. You make a claim like, I can read minds. When someone tests this and you fail the test, you then say, well, I can only read minds which are on the right wavelength. Didn't mention that before. Moving the goalposts. False cause. Correlation is not causation, so even if global temperatures increase while pirate numbers decrease, that doesn't mean that pirates prevent global warming. See also the Texas...
And that happens all the time. The mathematicians are like, oh, this reduction in this induction of aspirin means that we have less cancer. No, probably eating more cancer probably leads. I'm sorry, eating more aspirin probably leads to more cancer. It's more weird, like fucking minerals and stuff in your body that you normally wouldn't have had. It's like, it's weird. It's like actually weird.
Sharpshooter, where you shoot the side of a barn and then draw your targets afterwards.
Yep, like I love this one where I'm like, okay, well, I tried to multiply 178,400 times 7, and I declare that it is 11.79, something like that. But no, I drew my target afterwards, and I declared that I was accurate. But no, I just made a complete guess.
First you figure out what your conclusion is, then you go looking
but then I go back and I'm like, well, okay, so 11.7 times 7 is 77 plus the other math, and you're like, okay, well, I made a good, gauged agreement, but
for data to support it.
But then you forget that
Good question. Asking something with an assumption built in that means the answerer sounds bad no matter what they say.
Yes, so you really do hate this particular race, huh? And they're like, no, I if I say yes, then I'm evil. If I say no, then I'm evil, right?
You stop beating your wife. No.
Yeah, rape, beating your wife, right?
True Scotsman. No Scotsman puts sugar on his porridge. If you're a Scottish man and you put sugar on your porridge, you are not a true Scotsman. Personal incredulity. Well, it's hard for me to believe that we're all made of billions of atoms, and so I'm just not going to. And last but...
It's hard for me to believe that we're all made of billions of atoms.
By no means least, the fallacy. Just because something contains one or more fallacies doesn't mean that they have reached the wrong conclusion. Your yoga teacher says I should eat vegetables because vegetables are healthy, but that is a fallacious appeal to authority because yoga teachers are not dietitians. Therefore, I should eat cake. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was educational.
It was so good. I have to memorize them. I've watched this video like 65 times or something. And I have to come in and re-memorize every couple of months and stuff, because pretty much every time anybody ever attacks me, they pretty much show me how small their penis is in the first 3 seconds. And I just tell them. I'm like, nope. You're the piece of shit. Your penis is small. You told me in the first 3 seconds, it sucks, but it's true.
Helping to set up a sting operation with the police. She telephoned John Zorn.
I'm getting towards bedtime here. It is midnight, and I believe I will go to bed, as I did start this around, I have recorded for 12 hours and 45 minutes. I think this is a natural place to stop. I'm going to stop and go to bed and sleep and get up and exercise and go to work. So we're going to shut down all of the games, all of them, and I will come back fresh in the morning when I'm not tired and exhausted off a 13-hour shift. It will close all these games. I didn't really get too much done towards the end, but it was fun to sit in Mortal for a day, Oh, I have to go back to the town, do I? Yeah. Okay, so 10 seconds, I'm mortal. I'm going to log out of EvE here. And I just want to remind you that you've been watching Skycat Live. This session was recorded in its entirety, and it was 12 hours and 45 minutes long. And I want to say thank you for hanging out with me for this long, and I really appreciate it. You've been watching Skycat Live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Click on the cat space to donate. Come to the Twitch or the YouTube or the Facebook. Tomorrow I will go hard on Mortal and FFXI and EvE, but I mean, like, my day got kind of long there, and as it was, it has been a 15-hour day because I did walk in the sun for 2 hours today in the middle of the shift. So not only was it like a 13-hour day, but it was a 15-hour day, you know? And so I'm going to stop now, and I'm sorry to bail on you, but I do love you guys. Just a reminder, this entire 13-hour session will be placed on my YouTube right now, and I will go and do so right now. We're going to go to YouTube and place this video that I recorded on YouTube. And I want to say thank you for your time. I'm sorry I'm so tired and out of it, but it's just been kind of like, you know, a busy couple of days and all that. So we're going to stop here, and I want to say thank you for your time, and I love you. Come to skycat.live and click on the cat space to donate, and go to Twitch, YouTube, give me a like, sub, or a follow, or come to the YouTube, come to my website and click on the cat space to donate. This 13-hour session will be placed on my YouTube now. I'm going to fucking literally create it as soon as this video ends, which is right now. Right? I'm going to kill the video. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. And